You're watching WYLN TV 35. Now, from the area's leader in live local news, this is WYLN News, the area's #1 source of live local news and information in Luzerne, Schuylkill, Carbon, and Columbia counties. WYLN News starts now.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us on WYLN News. I'm Julia Wiegand. 2 people are said to be in custody following a police chase through the streets of Hazleton earlier today. The pursuit began shortly after 1 p.m. The suspected vehicle fled down Diamond Avenue to Vine Street to the area between the Grand Central Plaza and Beach Street Playground. That's where the suspects allegedly fled on foot into a wooded area, but were later apprehended. There's no word at this time as to the suspects' identities nor what charges they'll be facing. Afghan refugees could soon be making their way to the Keystone Job Corps Center, raising some concerns within the Butler Township community. WYLN's Mackenzie Ocker has more.
A meeting took place last night at Butler Township to discuss and get answers about the Afghan refugees coming to the Keystone Job Corps Center. Butler Township supervisors tried to get answers to inform the community about the current situation.
So we did discuss it at our last meeting that we had a little bit of information, we didn't have much. We contacted the Keystone Job Corps Center after our meeting, and they had given us some brief information that the orders were coming from the White House, and then from there our supervisors went into discovery mode, and they've been working on getting answers for our residents from that point on.
The supervisors discovered that the Keystone Job Corps began taking in Afghan refugees last Thursday. They will be going into the Keystone Job Corps Center as students and employees, but many questions remain unanswered.
Okay, there were 84,500 Afghan nationals, American citizens, and lawful permanent residents that have arrived in the United States as part of Operation Allies Welcome. And of those, more than 76,000 are Afghan nationals, the remainder are U.S. citizens and lawful permanent residents.
There are 121 Job Corps across the United States, with 4 of them being located in Pennsylvania. As of right now, there are no reported refugees at the Keystone Job Corps.
There's very severe violence in Afghanistan, okay? And supposedly these people were vetted, but they still have a different, in my opinion, from reading about them and looking at what is in the Job Corps, they still have a different cultural outlook than the other people that work in the Job Corps.
Butler Township supervisors have been in touch with Matthew Cartwright's office and Congressman Dan Muser attempting to get more answers.
So essentially what we have is that these are going to be students and they're not here yet. They may or may not come here. They may go someplace else in the United States and no one knows how many and or when or anything else.
Questions still remain unanswered on the overall plan for the Afghan refugees. Reporting in Butler Township for WYLN News, I'm Mackenzie Ocker.
Thanks, Mackenzie. Governor Tom Wolf unveiled his $43.7 billion budget proposal yesterday, which includes an increase in education funding and the call for a higher minimum wage. WYLN's Julie Stefanovic has the details.
Governor Tom Wolf gave his final budget speech before the General Assembly on Tuesday.
If you're a Pennsylvanian worried about how you're going to support your family, or if you don't know how you're going to pay for your kids' college tuition, or if you're struggling to keep up with the rising costs of everything from groceries to health care, you don't want to hear about how far we've come over the last 11 years. You want to know what we're going to do next.
Wolf said he plans to continue spending every day fighting for Pennsylvanians and deliver key budget priorities that include raising the state's minimum wage to $12 an hour by July of this year.
Pennsylvania's minimum wage is still stuck at $7.25. Pennsylvanians have not gotten a raise in 13 years. Adjusted for inflation, they've actually taken a $2 an hour pay cut. We are literally surrounded by states that are giving minimum wage workers a better deal. And this is embarrassing.
The governor's $43.7 billion budget proposal also includes an additional $1.9 billion to benefit students from pre-K through college.
Last year, we made a historic investment in our schools. This year, we have an opportunity to build on that momentum and make a generational difference for students all across the Commonwealth.
Portions would be used for funding basic education, an increase for Head Start programs, and the Nellie Bly tuition program for students attending a state system university.
These investments have allowed us to expand registered apprenticeship programs into new industries and expand these opportunities for more people. And we've been able to develop more educational and training offerings tailored to the specific needs of Pennsylvania businesses.
The budget plan calls for reducing the corporate net income tax rate to make the state more competitive and expanding the tax base to level the playing fields for all businesses. $8 million was proposed for job training and an additional $2 million to address food insecurity. Wolf said that over the past 7 years, his administration turned a $2 to $3 billion structural budget deficit into a $2 to $3 billion budget surplus.
It did not happen overnight. In fact, some of you might recall our journey began with a 9-month budget impasse that only reinforced Pennsylvanians' skepticism about our ability to get anything done. In the years since, there has certainly been plenty of wrangling, arguing, negotiating, and plain old yelling in the halls of this Capitol. But we stuck it out, Democrats and Republicans. We did not give up on each other, and we did not give up on Pennsylvania. Now look how far we've come.
More information can be found at budget.pa.gov. Reporting for WYLN News, I'm Julie Stefanovich.
Thank you, Julie. The City of Hazleton is reviewing plans to begin a reserve parking program. Mayor Jeff Gassat's been working on the initiative since 2019, saying there's a high demand for parking in the city and that it's definitely an issue during the winter when streets have just been cleared of snow. The program would allow property owners to reserve an on-street parking space for $120 annually. A sign would be posted to designate the space, and violators would be towed. Both council and the mayor would like to hear input from the residents, so anyone that's interested in the reserved parking program can call the mayor's office at 570-459-4910. A Scranton man diagnosed with a communicable disease was sentenced for spitting on 2 corrections officers. 35-year-old Justin Emmanuel Martinez was taken to the county prison back on March 10th for unrelated offenses. He refused commands during the booking process and became agitated and uncooperative. While being escorted to a restrictive housing unit, a spit hood was placed over his head as standard procedure. However, Martinez, who was HIV positive, continued to struggle and spat in the face and eyes of a corrections officer. He was soon pepper sprayed, but when a nurse was summoned to lift the spit hood and decontaminate him, he turned his head and spat in a second corrections officer's face. Martinez pled guilty to assault by prisoner and was sentenced to serve 18 months to 3 years in state prison. The Schuylkill County DA's office is asking for help in locating a wanted New Ringgold woman. 26-year-old Kathy Dean Tonkin was originally charged with possession of a controlled substance and drug paraphernalia, false identification to a law enforcement officer, and flight to avoid apprehension, trial, or punishment. She was then declared an absconder for violating the terms and conditions of the county's drug treatment program. Tonkin is white non-Hispanic, stands at 5'6", weighs 140 pounds, and her last known address is listed at 3070 Summer Valley Road in New Ringgold. Anyone with information on her whereabouts is asked to call the DA's office at 570-628-1350, the Adult Probation and Parole Office at 570-628-1288, or the Schuylkill County Tip Line at 570-624-3988. All information will remain confidential. A Tomoko woman's behind bars after assaulting a Borough couple last month. Police were called just after 2 p.m. on January 28th to the 200 block of Hazel Street for a report of an unwanted person. A woman and her boyfriend told police they were assaulted by 28-year-old Christy Kimes. The man said the 2 women were fighting, but when he tried to break them up, Kimes grabbed him by the throat and started to choke him before he broke free and ran out of the house. Officers also noted that the woman had visible scratches on her neck and face, while the man had visible scratches and fingerprints on his throat. Kimes was arrested and charged with strangulation, persistent disorderly conduct, and criminal trespass. She was arraigned and locked up at Schuylkill County Prison in lieu of $10,000 bail. The CDC is investigating 2 separate listeria outbreaks linked to prepackaged salads. Fresh Express recalled several brands of its packaged salad products back in December. A total of 10 people were hospitalized in Illinois, Massachusetts, Michigan, New Jersey, New York, Ohio, Virginia, and Pennsylvania, where one person also died. Then, over the past week, Dole also recalled several brands of its packaged salad products. A total of 13 people were hospitalized in Idaho, Iowa, Maryland, Minnesota, Nevada, North Carolina, Ohio, Oregon, Pennsylvania, Texas, and Utah, as well as in Michigan and Wisconsin, where 2 people also died. The illnesses in the listeria outbreaks were reported from August to December of last year. Coming up on Wyln News, the innovators of the game are back to ball at Casey Plaza, plus details on tomorrow night's Cougar Wolfpack action. But first, we'll take a look at our 5-day forecast brought to you by the Wyln Weather Kits. We'll be right back.
My name is Gia, and I'm 3 years old. The weather is going to be rainy, so get your umbrella. Bye.
We want your child to be our Wyln Weather Kid. Your child can be our feature weather reporter of the day on Wyln News and Wyln social media posts, just by using your smartphone or any video recording device. It's easy. All ages are welcome, from toddlers to teens. To find out how, go to the weather section of WYLNTV.com or look for our post about it on the Wyln News Facebook page. Submit your Weather Kid video today.
You always get a feel-good shopping experience at Grand Central in Hazleton.
Have you ever experienced that super pushy salesperson who follows you all around? Not here.
Or wandered around that big box store looking for help in the appliance department, only to find the pink guy? Not here.
And we have an experienced, courteous sales staff here to help you find the perfect mattress, piece of furniture, or appliance with no pressure.
And don't forget, everyday low prices.
You always get a feel-good shopping experience at Grand Central in Hazleton.
Third Base Luncheonette, still making memories after all these years. Do you like craft beer? Do you want to learn the right way to sample wine? How about checking out a restaurant with a unique flavor or a crazy food challenge? These are just some of the things we are featuring on Wine, Hops, and Road Stops. So, spend some time learning about great wine, great beer, and great food on WYLN TV 35.
The Harlem Globetrotters will be back at Mohegan Sun Arena for their world-famous spread game tour this weekend. The newly reimagined street ball and interactive family entertainment mix will be coming to Wilkes-Barre this Saturday, February 12th at 5 p.m. The ankle-breaking moves, jaw-dropping swag, and rim-rattling dunks show off the Globetrotters' best in a dazzling exhibition of talent and game that they've showcased in 124 countries and territories on 6 continents since their 1926 debut, popularizing the jump shot, slam dunk, and even invented the half-court hook shot. Exhibiting Black excellence on and off the court, the Globetrotters continue to entertain, inspire, and advance the racial progress of today. Tickets are on sale now at the NBT Bank box office at Casey Plaza or online at Ticketmaster.com. Our Wyln sports crew is gearing up for its next 2022 high school basketball game. We kick off with some live Cougar Wolfpack action tomorrow, February 10th, when the ball is in Wilkes-Barre's court for the boys' matchup against Hazleton. Get your favorite fill of Marty Burns and our Wyln sports crew, bringing you the event, not just the highlights. No plans tomorrow night? No problem. Got some? Well, cancel them. Instead, tune in for the 7:30 tip-off and all the live local action right here on Wyln TV. Coming up on Dorrance's News Choice, we talk blood pressure on this Wellness Wednesday. Plus, Leading the Way, Part 3. Stay with us.
Penn State Hazleton is improving the lives of others, starting in our community.
Providing degrees that meet the needs of the area.
Fueling entrepreneurship and contributing more than $36 million annually to the state's economy.
Researching the health of our local ecosystem on the Susquehanna River.
Together, our impact keeps growing, backed by the strength of 24 campuses and 700,000 alumni.
Come shoot at Whitetail Preserve, 118 Boulevard Road in Bloomsburg. Their skeet, trap, and sporting clay fields are professionally designed, and all stations are handicapped accessible. Whitetail Preserve has resident shooting instructors certified by the NRA in shotgun, rifle, pistol, home safety, and personal protection in the home. Whitetail can also cater any size event, whether it be a private party, corporate event, or wedding. Call 570-384-2314 or 570-790-8969.
We all need a midweek pick-me-up, and WYLN TV 35 is your home for good news on Wednesdays. All our good news stories will be printed in the WYLN TV Pennies Classified Good News Bulletin, distributed throughout the community and digitally posted on WYLN News Facebook page and on our website. If you have good news to share, contact us to be featured in our special Good News edition. Good events, good people, good jobs, all good news.
When emergency strikes, trust your care to the all-new ER at Lehigh Valley Hospital Hazleton. With a facility that's now twice the size. Experienced nurses who see you right away. A quick assessment process makes sure you get the care you need. Advanced technology on site. Safe, private treatment rooms, and a peace of mind that only this level of care can bring. When it matters most, trust your partner in emergency care. Lehigh Valley Hospital Hazleton.
PPW Nation, get ready for the best of PPW Season 2. Join Paul Bowe, E. Julius Kuiper, Alexander Bravado, Tom Mitchell, and Alex Watt as we take you down memory lane and relive some of the best PPW matches of all time. Saturdays at 5 p.m., Sundays at 10 p.m., only on WYLN.
Hey! Did you know WYLN posts news stories and other bonus content on social media all week long? The Weather Kids, Fresh from the Farm, Everyday Heroes, Let's Talk Sports, Feel Good Friday, daily news stories, and more. Visit WYLNTV.com, Facebook, and YouTube to check it out. WYLN, the local leader on social media. We're your local network.
Welcome back to Wellness Wednesday. Thanks to our friends over at Lehigh Valley Health Network. I'm Julia Wiegand, and today we are again on location at the Hazleton Health and Wellness Center. But today we are going to be talking about blood pressure with Joan. First of all, how are you doing?
Good, thanks.
Now, Joan is going to be telling us everything about blood pressure, how to take your own, and so on and so forth. So I guess we'll start off with, what is blood pressure?
Blood pressure is a pressure. It's a pressure on the artery walls when your heart is pumping. That's the top number, and when your heart is relaxing, that's the bottom number.
Now, what is the healthy range that everyone should be aiming for?
A normal blood pressure is less than 120/80, so that's what you want to strive for.
And speaking of striving for that, how can we maintain a healthy blood pressure?
There are certain things, if your blood pressure runs high, you want to work with your doctor. He would prescribe medications. Then there are some lifestyle changes that we can modify. Maintaining a healthy weight is huge when it comes to blood pressure. Eating a healthy diet, especially salt. You want to stay away from salt if you have high blood pressure. Regular exercise is also very beneficial to maintain a healthy blood pressure.
And I kind of actually ran into this issue this morning. So I had a doctor's appointment, virtual, and they asked me what my blood pressure was, and I said, I don't know. Now I can see in front of me that you have a nice little gizmo gadget here that is able to read blood pressure, correct? So can you tell us what it is, how to read it, all about it?
Well, a lot of doctors, if you have high blood pressure, will ask you to check your pressure at home because that's a better indication of what your blood pressure really is. And there are some tricks to that. I'll show you how to use this. First of all, if you're looking for a blood pressure cuff, it doesn't have to be expensive. The more expensive it is, the more bells and whistles it's going to have, but you really don't need that. The most important thing with a home cuff is that the cuff fits your arm. So if you have a larger arm, you've got to look for a cuff that has a larger cuff, a machine that has a larger cuff. You want to be able to see the numbers. That's important. It should be one that fits your arm. You see blood pressure cuffs that go on the wrists and some on the fingers. They tend to not be as accurate, so it should be a cuff. And then if you want it to be automatic, that's also helpful. Then you just have to push a button instead of pumping it up. So do you want me to just go through this?
Go on right ahead.
So when you're taking your blood pressure at home, you want to be seated. You want your feet resting on the floor. You want to be resting for about 5 minutes. A true resting blood pressure is that after you've sat and rested for 5 minutes. Then you can open up the cuff. You just follow the directions. You want to line up the cuff on your arm. You want to rest your arm on a table, and then you can just press the button, and this type of a machine will give you a blood pressure. When you're checking your pressure at home, you might want to check it at different times of the day so that when you go to the doctor, there are some morning blood pressures that you've taken, some in the afternoon. You want to avoid alcohol and caffeine, maybe 30 minutes before you take a resting blood pressure, and also not have exercised right before because that will affect your resting blood pressure.
And with this machine, since we're going to be doing things at home, where can someone look into buying a machine like this one?
Probably a pharmacy would be a good place, and then some of the big stores like Walmart or Target.
It's that easy then.
It's pretty easy.
Now, is there anything else that you want to add about blood pressure for our viewers and our audience out there?
Just work with your doctor. Try to get that number that's less than 120/80. Sometimes the doctor will have your blood pressure running lower than that with medications, and that's okay as long as you don't have side effects. If you're really tired or dizzy from your blood pressure medicine, then it might be too much, and you should talk to your doctor about decreasing that dosage.
All right. Thank you so much, Joan, for giving us the bells and whistles about blood pressure. And thank you, everybody watching out there. Remember, it is very simple to take your blood pressure at home. So to help out keeping record of your healthy blood pressure and maintaining that healthy level, check out some websites, check out your pharmacy, talk to your doctor into getting one of these simple devices that'll be easy to read and easy to record. So that's it for this Wellness Wednesday. We'll see you next time here on WYLN.
SJ Kowalski is your Mitsubishi Diamond Contractor. They can install a Mitsubishi electric Mr. Slim ductless heating and cooling system. Mr. Slim systems are designed to make any living space in your home inviting. You can have a different temperature control for every room in your home. The money-saving technology can save you 25 to 50% on your heating bill. For Mitsubishi, Rinnai, and trained comfort specialist, call SJ Kowalski at 570-455-2600.
Membership opportunities are now available at the Valley Country Club, 79 Country Club Lane in Sugarloaf. Clubhouse upgrades are in progress and will be ready for the spring. Call Frank Radis for details at 570-233-5328.
If you're looking for an affordable pre-owned car or truck, Chura's Auto Sales has a great lineup of clean, dependable, and quality vehicles. Stop in 610 North Broad Street, West Hazleton, 570-454-7229.
Did you know that WYLN News provides news updates every weekday afternoon
At 1, 3, and 5 here on TV and on social media?
Did you also know you can watch WYLN News on the go by visiting our website or YouTube page?
Now more than ever,
WYLN is your local news leader.
Come shoot at Whitetail Preserve, 118 Boulevard Road in Bloomsburg. Their skeet, trap, and sporting clay fields are professionally designed, and all stations are handicapped accessible. Whitetail Preserve has resident shooting instructors certified by the NRA in shotgun, rifle, pistol, home safety, and personal protection in the home. Whitetail can also cater any size event, whether it be a private party, corporate event, or wedding. Call 570-384-2314 or 570-790-8969. WYLN CA35's children's programming is designed with the specific purpose of serving the educational and informational needs of children. In compliance with FCC guidelines, a copy of the children's programming report is on file for public inspection at WYLN 1057 East 10th Street in Hazleton, Pennsylvania during normal business hours. To view the report online, visit fcc.org.
WYLN's going behind the scenes to learn more about the lives and goals of our local leaders. So, Dr. John Dagenhart's leading the way into part 3 of this week's series.
And welcome back to this week's Leading the Way with Dr. John Dagenhart of Dagenhart Chiropractic. Dr. John, what are some of the most common ailments that you come across, and how do you help patients deal with them, especially those in chronic pain?
I would say for women, it's migraines. So many girls, here's the average story, Tracy, real quickly. They'll have past traumas. Maybe a car accident where their head hit the windshield when they were 10 years old, or they fell off of a porch. So neurologists will do CAT scans of the brain. CAT scans are negative. The brains are fine. They just don't realize the mechanics that for me, to have my head hit a windshield, my neck, it's like a whiplash. So for women, it's usually their neck and migraines. For athletes, I would say it's more like a sciatica, or let's say a basketball player, football player, from lifting weights, getting hit. The lower back, it's called a sacroiliac joint. When that joint misaligns, it causes pain on the leg. Usually they go for months of physical therapy, and it alleviates it. But patients say, Doc, for 10 years, my sciatica just keeps coming back. Once we correct it, it doesn't come back. So it's a joy to get to the ultimate cause of the problem, fix the cause so that it doesn't return again.
How many people, I sometimes get really bad headaches, and I would have probably never associated that with, something in my neck.
I know, even me, Tree. That's why I love my work. I was sort of a non-believer of chiropractic, and again, I'm older than you, so when I was younger, people talked about quacks. Like chiropractors were like semi-doctors, so my mother was a nurse. So when I initially said to her I want to become a chiropractor, and she and I had a great relationship, I think she was sort of like hesitant to encourage me for that reason. But I think many people, once they see what chiropractic can do, if my nervous system controls my body, anything, be it migraines, and that's why I do these TV shows, it is still, 42 years later, it's a challenge to educate the public that it's not just for the back. Like you said, for migraines or for so many different, anything where a nerve connects to and a chiropractor adjusts the spine, it can help that part to function better. So that's our challenge.
Well, we certainly hope to keep seeing you in Panorama and on our television show.
You will.
Check back tomorrow night as Dr. John continues leading the way into part 4 of this week's segment. Good night.
And that's the news. Remember, the source matters now more than ever. Catch all the latest on our Facebook page, YouTube page, or at WYLNTV.com. Stay with us. A look at today's weather is next, right here on WYLN TV.